Hey guys, how are ya? I'm here with George. I'm going to show you the best technique for beginners to learn, the Ogoshi. And this video is not just for beginners because Ogoshi is a pretty complicated throw. Setting it up and making sure that the person doesn't know it's coming, surprising them. All these different things are very, very important. So I want to cover it. Before we go further, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have a podcast out on Mondays. It's going to be really fun. The Shintaro Higashi show with Peter Yu. You can find it on all major platforms. Also check out the dojo.com for my white belt curriculum. It's free. Okay. So, right side versus right side, generally speaking, I want to grab sleeve or lapel first, and then I want to use this one-handed attack, right? Breaking his posture, and then improve position to this high grip. Okay, when my hand is higher than my opponent's hand in a right side versus right side setting, I have the advantage. So generally speaking, when I have this hand on first, George doesn't want me to go over the back, so he goes and blocks my hand on the bicep here. Okay, I go misdirect, and then I go directly underneath, and now I'm ready to go Ogoshi from this position. Okay, can I go straight for that turn? Yes, I can, but because of the way his foot is situated, I have to really turn far. So from here, I'm going to go Kouchi and bring that leg across. Okay, notice my foot is beating George's lead leg to the inside, and now I'm in a great position to throw my hips across and then go right into the Ogoshi. All right, straight into Ogoshi. Ogoshi is a great technique for beginners because if George is standing neutral here, I go around the back and look, I stand and I'm on both legs, and it's a lot easier to learn as opposed to something like Osoto when I'm on one leg, okay? Important note about that Ogoshi, I'm not turning completely directly in front of him because from here, my arm is going to be very awkward. Okay, it's going to be very difficult for me to apply this technique. So generally speaking, if we have sort of a staggered stance, leading leg with the left leg, this is sort of the optimal position for me to throw my hips across, okay? I want to create this space in a forward lean from my opponent, which is called Kazushi off balance. And then from here, look, I shoot my hips directly across my opponent, okay? So I'm not directly flush in front of him. I'm sort of skewed to the side, and then I bring my hips across. And now from here, I can elevate and then rotate my opponent. All right? So for those of you who are a little bit more advanced to say, oh, this will never work on a strong, experienced opponent, I'm going to give you one setup that's one of my favorite setups. Okay? Over the back, I grab this belt here. What I'd like to do here is I like to circle for sort of like a Hizaguruma looking thing like this way. Okay? And I want to bring George behind me, so now it's very much easier for me to attack this technique. Okay? So from here, I go pulling, and now I've shortened the turn. I can enter, and I have the Ogoshi. All right? Important note, if you're fighting right side versus lefty, right, righty versus lefty, if I have George coming over the back, and I'm going over the back, and now we have the sleeve and sleeve, hip to hip position as we call it, okay, this is a much more dangerous proposition because George turns to this direction, I also turn to this direction. Okay, so faking and making it look like I'm going to go attack this rear leg, and as he retreats this leg, this might be a good time for me to step across and throw my hips across, pull George onto my hip, elevate, and then take him over, right? So this is one of my favorite techniques that one can do, called the Ogoshi for beginners. I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you, George. All right.